Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Mexi here once again, and I am back for yet again for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos here. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario 3D All-Stars while we're still playing through Super Mario Galaxy for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we have somehow managed able to get started from the likes of the forms of the engine room, and at the same time though, I think so far, for the actual stars count, I think we've collected about, roughly about 11 power stars, which is not too bad, all things considered. Especially noticeable because, again, we did manage able to beat certain missions with the quickest amount of time if possible. So today, for this video, is the fact that we're about to continue things on in the engine room and hopefully collect some more power stars, and potentially speaking that we might able to get ourselves the next grand star to the table. So anyway, so Mario meets Mario. So either way though, we're about to be returning back onto Toy Time Galaxy again. So we can probably expect that we're most able to wrap things up through almost everything for Toy Time Galaxy before we move on to other galaxies in the future. So of course we'll... Whoa! Jesus Louise, I almost fell off for a moment, but okay, I wasn't expecting I've almost gonna fall off for a moment, but hey, at least we still lived though, at least we still lived, so... Anyways, let's go ahead and... really? Okay, whatever. I somehow keep on, like, getting hurt by any other hazards all of a sudden, because I have no idea what's that about. I mean, surely that I was trying to able to actually go whatever I want to able to go into at this point, but the thing is though, because it's been about 3 days ago since we actually last played this, because after all, that you know, some toy sales have already managed able to catch up on you know, Donkey Kong Land 3. So as a result though, I think, suffice to say, that we're pretty much almost done with the forms of Donkey Kong Land 3 before we move on to the majority of the forms of other Donkey Kong Let's Plays in the future. To be more specifically though, you know, all kinds of games ranging from Donkey Kong 64 for the Nintendo 64 and also Donkey Kong Country Returns, and also Tropical Freeze as well, but we'll get ahead of ourselves at some point in the future though. But anyways, let's go ahead and once again grab, you know, those silver stars, despite the fact that I fell into the lava by complete accident, but that's okay though, because we can just simply try to able to do this with 1 unit of health left. So at the very least, I'm a little bit more anticipated if I'm able to actually just to do this particular, you know, 1 health left kind of syndrome or something like that. So anyways, so at the very least we did manage to collect all 5 of those silver stars again. So yeah, to be expected at this point, and of course you do need to watch out for those specific platforms that does manage to able to cause to you know, make the actual green platform disappears, and also those yellow platforms which if you step on those, basically it'll just turn around and stuff like that, or in some cases spinning the platform and stuff like that. And of course you need to avoid, you know, the lava, just in case you don't want to get hit 3 times by the lava. So yeah, you pretty much expect where what this is going. So alright, so let's head back in here again and tackle for the next mission too. So let's see what we got in here. So, well, we pretty much already know what the next mission is. Bouncing down Cake Lane. Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those spring mushroom usage missions, isn't there? Yeah, because I can definitely recognize that particular blue crystal container, which obviously contains, of course, the spring mushrooms. So, oh boy, we got able to get a lot of usage on that again. So, oh well, but at the very least we pretty much know what we're doing. So, and now after a while though, I'm trying to able to actually grab the insane amount of those star bits as much as I can. So just in case I can able to actually easily catch up for the star bits grinding, because as far as I'm aware, that since that we're almost nearly at the end for this for the most part. So although it's hard to explain of what I was trying to say for this point, because again it's been 3 days ago since I actually last played this, because you know, Donkey Kong Land 3 and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color, so we can pretty much expect about the fact that what the uploading schedules are going to be for the majority of the forms of, you know, September and stuff like that. So, Because speaking of September though, and that is the fact that I'm pretty sure that today is the forms of the 19th of September today, in this case in 2022 today, and for those who are still managed to able to keep up with the forms of the actual the new generation for the sake of the forms of My Little Pony stuff, if you're still the brownie out there, including myself, make your mark series will able to actually begin next week. So, yeah, that should be exciting, especially noticeable after seeing the actual, the Netflix, special of, Make Your Mark, introductioning pilot or something like that. Although, to be fair though, because obviously that the voice actors might be still, you know, has the exact same voice cast as the forms of how it does it on, not only, Make Your Mark specific special episode, or to be more specifically, the Netflix special and stuff like that, but also with the forms of Tell Your Tale. So either way though, you can pretty much expect that the actual voice actor, well, at least I'm pretty much used to it right now, especially noticeable, although despite it might sound a bit weird, because I'm still pretty much used to with the forms of a new generation movie on Netflix, so as a result though, that could be something, so... Anyway, so let's go ahead and try to skate along, because obviously with all that, you know, ice skating involved, and also I might as well grab the life shroom, just in case if I don't able to waste a lot of lives there. And of course, we can never forget those star bits from up there, although alternatively, you can also use the cannon in order able to actually blast yourself onto these pole stars, but I don't think it's that necessary in my book, so let's just go ahead and launch ourselves to, and let's just say a birthday cake, so we can able to celebrate our amazing birthdays. Well, mind you, about the fact that, well, we're pretty much gonna have to save that conversation until, oh god, okay. Oh my goodness, that Mecha Koopa just almost trying to burn me. But regardless of such though, we still managed able to made it regardless, so let's just blow out 5 of those candles, and we can able to say happy birthday. Although to be fair though, that this year we'll be able to have, not only for the sake of the forms of, well, we already had Kirby's 30th anniversary and the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary, so up next to will be Mega Man, the Blue Bomber himself, so... But at least we'll see what happens for the sake of the forms of anything else to come for this point. So, anyways, let's go ahead and deal with this Monty Mole kind of fight. So even then, though, this time he's now going to be obviously trying to take control of the, you know, electric ball machinery. So, because previously he's already used the water element one. So, I guess that makes a little bit more sense to able to actually just to switch things up a bit. And despite I keep on getting hit by this electrical ball homing attack and stuff like that. Well, it's nothing to do with the homing attack or anything else to be more specific, it's just the actual homing electrical ball projectile. So because of that though, I wasn't expecting that's usually the case, but oh well, what can you do? But at the very least that he still has like 3 hits and stuff like that. And of course, the only way you can able to deal with this boss fight is of course using the spring mushroom, just like always, so... However though, it's pretty much mandatory in order to able to do all that stuff, because unlike in, you know, Heavy Metal Mecha Bowser boss fight, that basically I don't have to deal with the forms the spring mushroom power-up in order to able to make the entire boss fight a lot more easier than I should. So, either way though, but at the very least we actually, done this anyway. So, there we go, 77 power stars, so, nice and top-notch throughout, so... Yeah. So, but before we are able to actually move on to the next galaxy right here, we need to head back into Toy Time Galaxy again, because I feel like there might be something missing, such as, of course, the hidden mission, so, which usually locates on Mario Meets Mario mission, so... And I believe, if I recall correctly, we need to get roughly about 50 star bits, so... Shouldn't be too hard though, especially noticeable about if we launch ourselves with the launch star, then there's some tons of those star bits we can instantly manage to grab from that particular heart-shaped sequences right there, and as well as some more star bits over there as well. So we can pretty much expect that we actually got enough star bits to, well, feed the hungry Luma and stuff like that, so... Oh yeah, I should probably also mention about this as well, is the fact that I do apologize with the informs within the last video on this. It's probably because, once again, my computer keeps lagging most of the time. And in addition to that, though, is the fact that my, commentary gets all a bit glitched out. So, at the very least, I did manage to able to fix it up. But, it seems gone okay again. But it's just the fact that it can be kind of annoying sometimes. Especially noticeable if you're following through our Let's Plays of... let's just say, The Simpsons Hit and Run, as well as the forms of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, that back in during the forms have been, well, let's just say about 2 months ago, roughly. So, either way, though, you can pretty much expect how the fact that every now and then the actual recording sessions between most of those games every now and then is going to get a little bit awkward to deal with. But, regardless of such, though, I can simply just try to deal with it okay enough, So anyways, here we go onto this particular planet, as you can see right there, and just like it informs of how it does it on, you know, Flip Switch Galaxy from the likes of the Terrace Dome, basically we need able to turn these switches into completely yellow. So because of this though, because if you do that, then the power star should pop up just underneath that particular orange block, as you can probably, well, you probably will see this right now, actually, so in this case, like, right there. So, either way, though, sometimes, though, you have to be very careful of this mission, though, because there was that one time, whenever I do manage to play this game, back in informs have been whenever I, tested out on the Wii U, but that was back in on a different place. And then basically though is the fact that I somehow get stuck and I've pretty much soft-locked. So because of this though, mainly predictably with those specific moving spike platforms as you can see. So as a result though, you have to be very careful not to able to trigger a soft lock issue. So either way though, but luckily for me though, I didn't come across into one so far. So at the very least that's good for me. And I think after done with this mission, in this case the secret mission's named, is the Flip Switch Chain. So I believe there's going to be a comment appeared. So, because usually we now on to an even numbered amount of those power stars so far, so this means that, yep, the prankster comment is now appeared. In this case, the Fastfo comment. So it has been a very long while since we actually stumbled across the Fastfo comment since Beach Ball Galaxy. So I think this will be the last time going to be seeing the Fastfo comments, well, to be more specifically in a Mario's playthrough, because as far as I'm aware, you probably already know what's going to come up during at some point, so... And of course this will be the last time hearing this particular familiar music, so, well, it wasn't until whenever we get to the second playthrough of this, so... Because, yeah, trust me when I say this, is the fact that Super Mario Galaxy, out of all the actual games in this one in particular main package, for Super Mario 3D All-Stars, that Super Mario Galaxy is by far the longest game yet. Because as far as I'm aware, with the forms of, well, despite the fact that most people seem to be able to skip the forms of either Mario's playthrough or Luigi's playthrough, depending on what specific stimulations they go for. So as a result of that kind of stuff, though, that's as far as I can try to explain about this, so... Alright, so let's just not try to able to get crushed by those tox boxes here and there, so just in case I really need to be very careful, especially that, you remember what that particular, the soft lock thing I mentioned to you about earlier? Well, that could be one of those emphases, specifically in this part right here, so, just you have to wait, quite patiently, especially noticeable, wow, yeah, because those, moving spike platforms also decides to move extremely fast as well, so, you just have to be very careful, especially noticeable that, again, if you come across into a soft lock, segment, then there's no way you can able to break out, unless that, well, I don't think you can able to pause the game either, I don't think, but, even though it's hard to explain, because it has been a very long while since I actually discovered the forms of soft lock issue, with that particular, you know, spikes in between, but, regardless of anything else though, that's as far as I can try to say about this, so... There we go, Fast Foes at Toy Time, as what the mission itself is called, despite the fact that I was usually trying to say that before I start selecting the mission, but you guys already know the drill, so... Alright, so that takes care of Toy Time Galaxy for now, and now let's go ahead and move on to the next galaxy, which is Bone Fin Galaxy. Oh yes, this particular creepy atmospheric galaxy, so now I think you probably already know why. King Fin's fearsome waters. So this takes place in the forms of that particular, the majority of the time in underwater this whole time, which is pretty obvious because we're gonna be swimming a lot, so. And there's some star bits as far as I somehow collected. Mind you, there's only like 10 of them at the moment, but we'll guarantee to get more if we try to take on the forms of probably the most coolest boss fight ever, which is of course King Fin himself. And convenient enough, he has the exact same music as it's playing ever since in Bouldergeist, so. Because, you know, it's all, like, breakable and stuff like that, so, but the biggest difference is there is that in the forms of in, Bouldergeist boss fights, you have to utilize the, black boots as bombs in order to be able to deal the damage on Bouldergeist. Whilst in here, though, all you have to really do is the fact that, well, usually, remember all these eels that we've already taken out from the likes of the Grand Eel Breakout mission, from the likes of the forms of that particular secret galaxies taking place in the forms of the Kitchen Dome? Well, basically, we need to utilize the shells in order to be able to deal the damage to King Fin. And I think out of all the actual fights throughout the game, though, at least I'm assuming correctly, that he does have, like, roughly about 5 hits, so it might take some bit of time to able to actually try to deal some damage to this guy, but regardless of such, though, it's pretty easy to take down if you know what you're doing, so. But I could imagine if the first time players who ever experienced this boss fight, they'll be terrified whenever they saw that coming, so. Anyways, let's grab that life mushroom here, so just in case we're able to get double the amount of health. And of course, now I really need to pay attention to the air meter because I'm almost gonna drown. But luckily for Mario though, it's not too bad. However though, on the second playthrough though, well, you probably already know what's gonna come up, so. Of course, you can also decide to be able to use the red shell if you wanted to by able to make the entire boss fight incredibly easy because, you know, the red shell allows you to be able to home in onto the actual boss and stuff like this, so. Oh, that's it? Okay, I haven't paid attention to how much hits that he has, although I think if I recall correctly he has like 5 hits or something. Well, mind you, I haven't exactly paid attention to it at all because, well, I just somehow got distracted by other things, so. Anyways, let's obtain the Power Star, and that's pretty much about it for Bone Fin Galaxy, so. Still, pretty intense boss fight, I'm not gonna lie. Especially noticeable it takes place in underwater, so. There we go, 80 Power Stars. So, I think so far we've actually got about 40 Power Stars to go until we basically reach up to the maximum potential, so. But, before we deal with the forms of the next, well, should I say, the last Bowser Jr. level, we need to take care of the forms of the Hungry Luma stage first. But first off, let me go ahead and activate this teleporter right here, so that way trying to able to actually access this part a lot quicker and faster, so that's how I usually roll. So, yeah, that can pretty much summarize for this point, so, anyways, let's go ahead and, actually, no matter what, though, I think I should probably save that for later, because I need to take care of the forms of, the Bowser Jr. stage first, so, just to feel like a little bit different around here, so, 45 Power Stars requirements, which, luckily, we do have enough, so. Anyways, let's begin. In Bowser Jr.'s Lava Reactor, King Catalan's Spicy Return. Well, mind you, it's not the different counterparts of the exact same boss fight as in, well, to be fair though, that, it's hard to explain, because it's been, you know what I mean, 3 days ago since I actually last played this, so. And I'm still very surprised that we're almost nearly at the end of September already, before we move on to October, which I think we've only got about 12 days to go until we basically moved on to October, in this case the month of not only for a certain birthday, as far as for my case, But also, get this, is the fact that it might be Halloween. So, yeah, that should be exciting for certain gamers out there if they want able to experience, let's just say, you know, replaying through Luigi's Mansion countless amount of times, with every now and then Luigi's Mansion 3 for its, you know, multiplayer and Screen Park and all that stuff. So, speaking of which though, is the fact that for Luigi's Mansion 3, I can't believe that until specifically next month though, that game will be eventually become 3 years old during that time, so... Anyway, so let's go and take care of this particular familiar fight, as we've already fought against with him ever since in Good Egg Galaxy, so... If I give up any more Grand Stars, my dad's gonna get mad. So this calls for my ultimate weapon. Give them some heat. Or, yeah, some heat, King Catalan. So, I do apologize if my commentary is a little bit iffy because, well, I'm just a little bit too tired. But no one there is extremely tired though. I'm just saying that right now because I haven't gotten that much sleep in the past few hours. So, hopefully once I'm done with this particular recording session, then I should be able to fully waking myself up, so yeah, this entire battle plays out exactly the same as the forms of how it does in, like I said before, in Good Egg Galaxy, except now that King Catalan has now got a different color. Mind you, as I said before, it's exactly the same boss fight, not something completely different, because, well, the entire fight is pretty much exactly the same, except now, he actually has some more attacks up his sleeve, like, you know, the summoning, the meteor shower, and also that if you step onto these particular green platforms, as we've already managed to did anyway, it'll cause the actual platform to sunk. So, yeah, that's something worth noting for the sake of the actual, the differences between, you know, Good Egg Galaxy, then, Bowser Jr.'s Lava Reactor. So, yeah, you probably get the idea about that. So, and there's our 6th Grand Star. So, huzzah, and all's well that ends well, right? Well, turns out we still need able to try to stop Bowser eventually, but then again, no, we'll have to wait and see what happens during the later times and beyond, because, well, you know what I mean, trying to aim for 100% completion for the entirety of the playthroughs, so... And this will pretty much access to the forms of not only 1, but 2 accessible domes. So, to be more specifically, Gate and Garden. Well, at least as far as we're able to, well, see that eventually. So, anyway, so let's see what we got here. 4 new galaxies to explore. And there's no dialogue with Rosalina just yet, because, well, as soon as we get into the forms of, well, let's just say Gateway Galaxy, I'm pretty sure. So either way though, but first off, let me go ahead and take care of the forms of that particular secret galaxy out of the way first. So in this case though, let's go ahead and talk to this hungry Luma, and of course we need to feed him for about 1,000 star bits. So we should be able to actually do just that. And that should able to actually lead us to the, well, this is when the actual text box somehow showed up. Sand Spiral Galaxy. So, yeah, it should be quite fun. Especially because, well, you probably already know what to expect. So, anyways, choosing a favorite snack. So you have a choice between either the Boo Mushroom or the Bee Mushroom, depending on what if your preference decide to go for. So, I believe if I recall correctly, only forms within the Wii version of this particular playthrough that we somehow, well, somehow managed able to, I keep on saying somehow for some reason, like several times already, because I was trying to explain something, but I seemed to able to go on clueless. So anyways though, from the likes of the original Wii version, if you couldn't tell already, that I somehow managed able to use Mario as in the Boom Mushroom power-up, whilst in the forms within Luigi's playthrough that we somehow managed able to use the Bee Mushroom for Luigi. However though, we'll go for a switcheroo this time, so in this case though, I'm going to be able to use the Bee Mushroom as Mario, and then whenever we get to Luigi's playthrough, which, spoiler alert for those who have not played the game yet, either on the Wii, Wii U, or the Switch, then basically we're pretty much gonna have to save the second playthrough for, you know what I mean, for the Boo Mushroom. So either way though, because, you know, having different varieties is a little bit of a nice of a difference anyway, but hey, at least regardless of everything else though, it's actually pretty easy to reach at the very end of that particular segment as B Mario, so in this case though, yeah, not too shabby right there. Especially noticeable is how easy it was to able to make yourself through, so nice. And from that, we reach on to 82 power stars, so yeah, not too shabby. So anyways, let's save our game quickly. Although, some people attempt to able to not save the game at all during the actual recording session sometimes, which I totally get it if the actual, the editing skills wasn't exactly all that impressive. But either way though, it's hard to explain. So anyways, now we're done with the forms of, well, the majority of the engine room for now on, until whenever we go back into it in the future. So, anyways, let's pop to a visit to the Gateway Galaxy, ever since the very beginning of Super Mario Galaxy. So, anyways, of course, we're able to grab some more star bits exponentially. So, anyways, let's meet up with Rosalina here and see what she has to say. This planet. It's very dear to me, sorry. I looked forward to visiting this planet with the Lumers every 100 years. The Luma has been traveled with you may also grow up to become a star someday. Some Lumas become planets, some become comets, and a few become power stars. I'm traveling with them while they look for a place to be reborn. But I never thought all this would happen. Wow, Mama must really trust you. Wow, how about this? If you grab all 100 purple coins here, yeah, you probably get the idea. So yeah, this is essentially the equivalent to obtain the 100 coin power stars in between the forms of, let's just say, the power stars in Super Mario 64 with the obtaining 100 coin power star and obtaining the 100 coin shine sprite combined into one for Super Mario Sunshine. Even though, again, hard to explain because it has been 3 days ago since I actually last recorded this. So even then though, and also I do apologize that that text box somewhat feels a bit laggy all of a sudden in my preview commentary because I think my computer starts a little bit too buffering heavy. So yeah, I do apologize for that. But hopefully exponentially during the forms of this particular Wednesday and Friday, then I should able to try to fix that issue with all that, you know, the lagginess again. Although kind of think about it, this music in the background, at least we're actually going to be using the last power-up in the whole entire game, which appears to be Flying Mario. Although, kind of think about it though, for that particular music and instruments that you actually use for this music choice for, you know, obtain the actual the flying power-up, it does sounds kind of reminds me of the forms of one of those musical pieces in Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, because again, that between this along with Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, I think they made by the same exact publisher or something. Well, I haven't exactly touched upon Donkey Kong Jungle Beat for such a long while, since I think that was back in 2020, where both Tiana just managed able to tackle through, I would say, the GameCube version, and then Daffy Duck did somehow manage to tackle through the Wii version, so, but I digress. So yeah, you probably get the idea, just obtain all of these purple coins, and then you should be good to go for, you know, hopefully trying to get the power star, right? Well, turns out, since we're going to be using the flying power-up with us, in this case the red star, or should I say the flying star as far as this is concerned, basically, as you can see, we actually stumbled across a different colored power star, which means the red power star, and I think this is the only red power star you can able to obtain, so... Because some people might find this power-up to be a little bit disappointing, because as a result though, it can only be used in one in particular power star, so gateways, purple coins, as what the actual mission itself calls it. And in addition to that though, the Hungry Luma appears, so... And it usually requires about 1200, star bits to obtain for able to actually feed the hungry llama in the process, so... But we'll see how this goes, hey? So, again, there's not much else I can honestly try to explain about this for the most part, guys. Although I would have liked to able to actually just to... Excuse me, I'm really sorry about this, guys, because, not only did I, for some reason, just somehow managed able to hit back, but also that I somehow belched, when I was closing my mouth, which I... I have no idea why I say things like that. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and take care of the forms of that particular secret galaxy right here. So I don't think I can probably get enough star bits for the time being for able to actually activate the last secret galaxy before we dive right into the trials of galaxies of any sort. So, anyway, so 1200 star bits to able to feed the hungry llama, like so. And from here, we're able to actually activate the Boo's Boneyard Galaxy. Okay, so that's what the galaxy itself is called. Well, again, despite the fact that I do apologize if my commentary gets a little bit iffy at this point today, because hopefully I'll make myself a better sleep during the forms of you know, later on tonight, so... Anyway, racing the spooky Speedster. So in this case, we once again meet up with the forms of that familiar boot Speedster right here, ever since in Ghostly Galaxy, so... But this time around though, the rules have been slightly different, so rather than utilizing the pull stars throughout the entire time, so instead now we need to use Boo Mario transformation in order to do it that way. However though, here's the thing about this version that I always found is a little bit of a ranting of any sorts. Well, let's just get this thing started, shall we, for this entire race. So of course, to be expected, we have to go all the way down while trying to avoid, you know, not getting bumped so many times. And also on top of that, there are quite a few question mark coins here and there that actually helps you out throughout the race, in order to able to actually make this mission a bit easier. But I'll have to admit it the right way is that after playing through the Wii version, where I found the Wii version on this particular mission to be a total piece of cake, I will have to say, this is by far a lot harder than the forms of how it does it on the Switch version in my opinion. Although, because I'm pretty much used to with the Switch Pro controller at this rate, although I could imagine if I was trying to use the Joy-Cons, it'll make things a bit easier. But for some reason, I'm always having a hard time with this particular mission on the Switch version, at least specifically if you're trying to utilize the Pro controller or something like that. Well, at least whenever I managed able to first time experiencing this mission back in the, you know, 2 years ago or something like that. Oh yeah, I should probably mention about this actually, and stuff like that. Well, at least despite the fact that it's already been mentioned from the sake of the forms of yesterday's Donkey Kong Land 3 Let's Play so far, that recently yesterday, Super Mario 3D All-Stars is now officially 2 years old. So, yeah, I can't even believe time flies all of a sudden. Well, luckily for you, especially noticeable like we said this before so many times in the past, luckily you can now able to get the game physically on secondhand stores, so at the very least there's that option. Despite the fact that on Amazon websites sometimes, that it still pretty much guarantees me to able to actually order the game physically, well, because again, you can no longer get this game digitally now, because it's like delisted and stuff like that, which is like, doesn't make that much sense at all, especially noticeable after 2 years since when this particular amazing compilation game goes, despite the fact that it has a lot of controversials between the forms of not only for its ridiculously overly priced compilation game, but it's also the fact that, well, it's an emulation rather than just trying to remaster those specific 3 games into one, although it does have some slight improvements with the forms of the original release of those games. Well, nothing different from Mario 64 as well as Mario Galaxy, but as far as the forms of Sunshine goes, there's one particular thing that makes things a little bit more of a, you know, a slight of improvement over the likes of the original, and that will have to be the widescreen support, so... But as far as saying goes, that most people seem to have a lot of controversial opinions on the forms of Super Mario 3D All-Stars since 2 years ago, where basically that everything else is emulated, and also the lack of Super Mario Galaxy 2, and on top of all that stuff though, the ridiculous price tag. So, anyway, enough about that, and let's move on to the Garden Dome now. So in this case, the first galaxy on this dome, which appears to be Deep Dark Galaxy. So, the Underground Ghost Ship as what the first mission we are tackling through for this particular level. And of course, like always, there's gonna be some secrecy here and there, but first off, I need to grind for more star bits, because as far as I'm aware, we're pretty much almost done with the forms of star bits grinding from now on. Well, to be more specifically in Mario's playthrough, because, well, again, if you've seen the original Wii version of this particular Let's Play before, excuse me, I'm really sorry about this point, guys, because, well, I couldn't help it for myself about the fact that I love eating salad so much. Like, usually cucumber, and especially noticeable with multicolored peppers, and smelly onions and stuff like that, despite the fact that, well, it might be not very good for your breath and stuff like that. But I always found myself having a lot of fun to eat with all that, you know, cucumber, as well as, you know, spring onions, and also peppers and all that stuff though, but at least it's something, I guess. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below for the question of the day. What you guys think about the films of the second year anniversary of the films of Super Mario 3D All-Stars somehow managed to came out back in the films of that disastrous year. So as a result though, that for me personally though, after 2 years since when it released, I had a lot of fun playing on it. Especially noticeable because I love revisiting the past Mario's adventures again, except this time you can play them on the go. Well, mind you, there's now 3 or 2 versions, or every now and then 3 versions of Super Mario 64 versions that you can now play on the go. One on the DS as a remake, and another one which is on the 3D All-Stars compilation, and now the Switch Online membership services. And as far as Super Mario Sunshine goes, well, you can now finally play this amazing, underrated GameCube gem on the go with all that, you know, same exact visuals, but with widescreen support, and you have no issues to trying to able to worry about the disc reading errors. So, and as for Mario Galaxy though, well, obviously you can play that game on the go as well, despite the fact that if you're trying to play handheld mode, you have to do the most awkward control setup, which involves around on, you know, obtaining star bits, as far as I would like to try to mention, because, well, I always found that setup a very, very awkward decision. So, anyway, so before we take on the next boss, in this case a familiar boss, as we remembered from Space Junk Galaxy, so, oh yeah, I should probably also mention about this as well, is the fact that I think we've only got about, roughly about 6 days left until Mario Kart Tour will be eventually become about, how old is that game again is gonna be on? Oh, the 30th anniversary, despite the fact that I'm still getting myself RMG all the time, and as well as from that, keep on getting screwed over by bad controls and all that stuff though, and it's just the fact that I just, well, I think I should probably mention more details about that if we managed able to continue doing this particular Super Mario Galaxy portion of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, basically, so it's just something, I guess. But anyways, here we have Kumela again, ever since in Space Junk Galaxy, which again, as I said before, we've already technically beaten her ever since in the forms of Space Junk Galaxy, but now we have to deal with her again, except now it makes the entire fight a lot more harder, and also just, well, she now actually has like 4 hits as opposed to 3, so makes sense to able to increase the difficulty for a bit, so. But regardless of such though, I still find her a lot easier to deal with. Well, assuming if you managed able to try to take care of the forms of the regular mission, because until the Prankster Common mission though, it'll be a lot more tougher. And there goes Kumela. And I think, kind of think about it, we're almost done with the forms of not only Daredevil comments, but also the Speedy comments as well. So, at the very least, we're pretty much almost done with those comments prospectively. So, there we go. And so far, we're actually on to 85 Power Stars. So I think so far, we've collected about roughly 10 Power Stars so far on this part. So, really good. So anyways, I think suffice to say, I think we should probably end things off at this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Super Mario 3D All-Stars in the Super Mario Galaxy game. It's the fact that, well, to be expected, collecting more Power Stars in the rest of the garden. So I'll see you guys until on Wednesday. Later, fellas.